What's going on, CashSports family? How y'all doing today, man? I know it is pretty late, but I had to get in the video. I didn't want to go too long without doing one, even though I know I've been doing shorts. But you know how it is, man. Sports world, anything happens whenever, however. Y'all already know, man. It's Cash Sports. Hey, for those of you guys watching, I know it's a different time and I'm live streaming right now. So if you're not currently attending while I'm live streaming, please still like and subscribe to Cash Sports Podcast, man. Please help out the platform. Anything I do, any proceeds, any money I get, it's going to go back into the platform because all I want to do is try to make sure this platform just keeps growing and growing, right? Y'all see that Cash App at the bottom also. You can donate if you like. Like I said, it is optional, so no biggie there, right? So today, usually what I do is I would drop the link in the comment section for those who do want to join the discussion. But for this video, I know y'all seen that topic. I'm just going to get into some opening spreads and some bets for these NFL games because I know I missed last week. So I got to give it to y'all this week because I do not want to go on Thursday Night Football without at least giving you that spread. All right, so let's get into it. So here it is. You already know my game, man. I already tell y'all I get it from The Athletic, and they usually get it from Caesar Sportsbooks. If we were talking about best bets or games where you would want to in which you would pick a team, pick the spread, pick your money line, that's on you. There's other articles that I can definitely point out and show you guys also, which will be after this one, right, on what's the best bets. And then of course I'm going to be talking about them and saying, giving my observation and what I think on the bet specifically, because these guys ain't they ain't no experts. Nobody really knows, right? So let's get into it. So the first game that pops up, right, is the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. So as we know, on Thursday, the Miami Dolphins are going to be playing against the Cincinnati Bengals Thursday Night Football. And this will be an interesting one. I'm not going to hold you. I mean, we already know what the Dolphins are made of and what they've been doing in the past 3 weeks. I mean, in the power rankings, as of right now, the Miami Dolphins are 3-0. They're at the top of the seeding. And they had a really impressive week last week against the Buffalo Bills in their division rivals. And Miami Dolphins, man, they have a dangerous team with Chase Edmonds, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, all these guys, I mean, they're doing their thing. And not to mention the defense, too. They were able to, suppress Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills offense for most of the game, leaving them only to 19 points. Only 19 points, which is crazy, right? But considering what had happened in the previous weeks with the Buffalo Bills, man, they barely punted. I mean, even in that last game, they were 11 for 18 on third down. So for them to even come out with that win, it's phenomenal to say the least. But this upcoming game right now with the Buffalo Bills, with the Cincinnati Bengals being -3 against the spread with a total of 47.5 on the total and a money line of -145. Well, they definitely have the Cincinnati Bengals favored to win this game. It is in Cincinnati, so we do have to be mindful of that also. But for me, man, I could see the Miami Dolphins coming out with this L, but I don't know, man. It's just that line with the Bengals. They just do not look like they have any chemistry on that front line or in their offense, really. Even though Joe Burrow can make plays, in situations where he gets sacked, can't really control that. Nonetheless, he's caught in a lot of situations where, he's just trying to survive. So there goes there. So I got the Dolphins in that one, to be honest with you. Got the underdogs. So the next game is the New Orleans Saints versus against the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? So this is somewhat of like kind of like a historical matchup. It's like whenever we see the Saints and the Vikings play each other, it's always a good one. The biggest game that I remember is Case Keenum in that playoff game when he threw that last second touchdown on the Saints to Stephon Diggs. And that was when Stephon Diggs was on the Minnesota Vikings, right? So the Vikings are favored in this game minus 2.5 with a total of 43.5 and a money line of minus 145. So in this game, I would say this is a close call. I mean, minus 2.5 on the spread. With the Saints, I mean, the Saints have a really good defensive front. And Kirk Cousins in that last game against the Eagles, he did not have any time to throw. I mean, he was really just trying to get it out whenever he can. And Saints, they have, they sort of have, that same type of front. Only thing is their quarterback play. Jameis Winston has been playing all too well since he's been back. Not horribly, but just enough. But in the last couple games, he's starting to see that old Jameis Winston from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I could see Saints coming up in this game, having a little comeback, get them off on the right footing. So I could see Saints coming out with this dub. Oh, and that is in London too, by the way. So the next game is the Tennessee Titans at Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored to win this game minus 3.5 with a total of 43.5 and a money line of minus 185. So nothing much to really say here. I mean, I got the Colts too. Tennessee Titans. I think Ryan Tannehill, I think he's on the last leg of his quarterback stardom. And I don't mean stardom like he's rising to the occasion. He's a superstar. No, as a quarterback starter, this might be his last season. We already know that Malik Willis was drafted by the Tennessee Titans, and he had somewhat of an outing in the preseason. And so Ryan Tannehill, man, week by week, he's on a week by week basis as it pertains to his job. So this week he has to perform, but nonetheless, this offense is still ran through Derrick Henry. So for the most part, man, we could see this being a very gritty game. Because not only that, Jonathan Taylor is the other running back who led the league in rushing yards and touchdowns last year when Derrick Henry was injured. So for me, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm just gonna stick with the favorites. I'm gonna go with the Colts. So next game is the Chicago Bears versus the New York Giants at home. Right, my Giants. We caught that L last week against the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately. But we are minus 3 against the spread. There's a total of 39.5 total, and the money line is minus 150. So for me, honestly, not even for me. I think the Giants is going to take this game. I mean, even though they lost that last game against the Dallas Cowboys still have a really good defense. They provide more pressure than any other defense on the quarterback than any other team as of right now. And Giants are just as competitive. We make a lot of mistakes, but we do play hard in the second half. It was just one of those drives, one of those possessions where we had a really bad possession of football. But the Chicago Bears ain't any better. So I'm gonna go with the Giants on this one, man. Man, so this is a game. This probably might be game of the week. Buffalo Bills at Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo Bills are favored to win this game minus 3 on the spread with a total of 53.5 and a money line of minus 165, right? So for me, I'm going to personally take the Buffalo Bills also. Coming off that close loss against the Miami Dolphins, I know the Buffalo Bills are trying to get right back on track as it pertains to them being on top of the division, right? Because as of right now, they're not. And the Baltimore Ravens, that secondary, that defense is very highly questionable. And Buffalo Bills, they're known for not really punting the ball a lot and being very effective on offense. So I can see the Ravens defense having a very rough day. Only way the Ravens can cement that if Lamar Jackson is having a wonderful day on his own, as he's been having, right? And he is the MVP leading candidate at this moment for me, right? So I know Lamar Jackson is going to have somewhat of a good day, but how good is that day going to be? We will find out. All right, so the next game here is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Houston Texans at Houston. So the Chargers are favored to win this game by minus 6.5 with a total of 46.5 and a money line of minus 275. So this Chargers game, I mean, they've had a couple bad losses right against the Chiefs. And who did they face last week? The Jaguars. Sorry. So we know that Justin Herbert has some rib injuries, and the Chargers have been hit with the injury bug, man. So they were one of the teams that had a lot of expectation coming into the season and just been hit with the injury bug. But with that being said, I mean, I don't see the Chargers really having too much of a fall off. It's still the beginning of the year. I mean, if Justin Herbert is still playing, compared to the Texans, who have been seen as a team to not really be doing anything this year. This is still a tough game because, I mean, it's the NFL. You still got to account for the week-by-week basis, but I'm still going to grab the Chargers, take this dub. So the next game now is the Seattle Seahawks at Detroit versus the Lions. Lions are favored to win this game by minus 6.5 with a total of 49.5 on the total and a money line of minus 275. So Lions, man, they're one of those teams that just play hard. You know, I wouldn't sleep on this team. You know, to my knowledge, I think Swift, one of the running backs, is not going to be playing this week. So it's somewhat of a blow because, you know, the Lions, they have a really good rushing attack with Jamal Williams and David Swift. And then Jared Goff has been playing better previously throughout his career. So the Seahawks, they still have Geno Smith as the starting quarterback. I mean, I'll just leave it at that, you know, but I just got the Lions win this game. Let's see. So now the next game is New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are favored to win this game on the spread with minus 3.5 and a total of 41.5 and a money line of minus 200. So Jets are a sneaky team, but I mean, who's to say, man? I'm still gonna grab the Steelers to win this game. I mean, if we're talking about betting, if we talking about putting the money up, I mean, why would I put my money on the Jets, right? But the Steelers, you know, they still have a really good defense. It's sad to say, though, because they lost TJ Watt, and I think Minkah Fitzpatrick isn't going to be playing this week. So I know the Steelers is going to be taking a little bit of a drop off. But with that being said, they still have Najee Harris. They still have some weapons on offense. You know, so it's just a matter of just making some plays on that end. And that doesn't take away the physicality that the Steelers have, because they've always been known for the steel curtain, even though they haven't been the steel curtain for a very long time. So before I go into the next game, man, for anybody tuning in, please like and subscribe to the page, man. If you enjoy the stream, just subscribe and you're gonna see more of me streaming. I usually don't stream around this time, but it's just, you know, I had to get a video out because I had to give something out for the audience, right? But right back into it. So another interesting game here is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored to win this game by minus 7 on the spread with a total of 48.5 and a money line of minus 350. So the Eagles, they're looking like the best team in the NFL right now. I don't care what anybody says. Jalen Hurts, if he keeps up his performance, he's going to be looking at becoming an MVP candidate later on in the future. But the Eagles, they have, I think they have like every weapon they need. They have a secondary, they have a defensive front, they got the line, they got the quarterback. You know, they have a good enough running game. They got the wide receivers. I mean, you name it. They filled up every position to make sure that they can be competitive, right? And then so just with the Eagles, I got them win this game also, and it's at home. So sorry, Jaguars. You had a good stretch, but gotta take this L. All right, so the next game is the Washington Commanders at Dallas versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored to win this game by minus 3 on the spread with a 42.5 on the total, and the money line is minus 165. So even though Dak Prescott, we already know that He's out. He has an injury in his hand, in his throwing hand, and so Cooper Rush has been filling in quite well. Just because Dak Prescott hasn't been playing in the past couple weeks or so doesn't take away from the defense. I mean, Micah Parsons is still playing phenomenal. That Cowboys defense is playing phenomenal. That Cowboys rushing game it has stepped up, even though it isn't solely Ezekiel Elliott. It's partly due to Tony Pollard, who's been rushing also. In the last game against my Giants, he was averaging about close to 10, if not over 10 yards per carry. So with that being said, man, the Commanders are the Commanders, and Dallas Cowboys get away with this one. So the next game is the Cleveland Browns at Atlanta versus the Falcons. Browns are favored to win this game by minus 2.5 on the spread with 48 points in the total and minus 145 on the money line. The Browns, I mean, we know this situation. They had a pretty bad dub. They had a pretty bad L last week. So with that being said, man, with the Browns, they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out hard. I mean, that defense is still that defense. Their line is still moderately good. But one thing to note is that Myles Garrett did get into a car accident this week, unfortunately. So there's a very good chance that he's not going to be playing this game. But Nick Chubb is still there. So I still believe in the running game. Falcons, I mean, they're still going to make it tough. It wouldn't surprise me if the Falcons actually do come out with this win because they are in Atlanta. So to be honest with you, I got Falcons win this game, man. All right. So next game is the Arizona Cardinals at Carolina, going against the Panthers. So the Panthers are favored to win this game minus 1.5 with a total of 44 and minus 120. So this is a bit odd to me to have the Panthers winning on the spread with minus 1.5. Honestly, I would take this bet, but I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I just think Kyler Murray's better than Baker Mayfield. I think the Arizona Cardinals, even though they can be a bit conservative in the beginning, I could see this game going out with the Arizona Cardinals. They can come out fired. Kyler Murray can be on his grind, trying to make some plays happen early. I could see the Arizona Cardinals definitely coming out of this game, trying to fix what happened last week against the Rams, because it was a close one. Even though it was a good game, it's not like they were getting thrashed. I mean, and they had the 21-point comeback against the Las Vegas Raiders. So with the Cardinals, I think this is an easy dub against the Panthers. So another game now is the Denver Broncos at Las Vegas going against the Raiders. Raiders are favored to win this game with minus 2 on the spread with 44 total points and the money line of minus 125, right? So the Raiders, I got to win this game. They need it. They need this win. I'll just leave it at that. They need this win. Devontae Adams ain't happy. They were one of the teams to be looked at, and because of their receiving core and how much they souped up their offense. Not to mention they got Chandler Jones on that defensive front now. So I think Raiders catch their first dub this week. Broncos take the L. Next game is the New England Patriots in Green Bay versus the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Packers are favored to win this game with minus 10.5 on the spread with a total of 41 and a money line of minus 550. So I'm not going to front. Patriots, they are bad. That offense is just bad. Mac Jones, to my knowledge, has a high ankle sprain, so there's a very good possibility he's not going to be playing this game. Not even a very good possibility. He's not playing. I mean, he has a high ankle sprain. So what good does that do? Aaron Rodgers coming off the win that he just got versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I could see I could see the Packers taking this dub, not even thinking twice about the New England Patriots. So next game now is the Kansas City Chiefs in Tampa Bay going against the Bucks, right? Chiefs are favored to win this, minus 3 on the spread with a total of 45.5 total and minus 150 on the money line. So Mike Evans will be back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after his suspension due to 2 weeks ago against the Saints. And then Chiefs, they had somewhat of a disappointing loss, but nothing too crazy. I mean, it is the season. You win some, you lose some. But I can see the Chiefs coming back on track, get another dub against the Buccaneers, and I can see the headlines coming. Is this the end for Tom Brady? Will he even be able to make the playoff? I say, even though he takes his L in this game, I don't think there's too much to worry about. But if you do bet on the Bucks, I do think that is a good bet. So the final game now is the Los Angeles Rams in San Francisco going against the 49ers. So the 49ers are favored to win this game, minus 2.5 on the spread, with a total of 43.5 and a money line of minus 145. So this is a close one to me. But honestly, man, I can see why the 49ers are favored to win this game. Rams just haven't been playing too well. They haven't been those Super Bowl champions that we've seen in the past. And I think Matthew Stafford has just become too reliant on Cooper Kupp. But does that mean that the Los Angeles Rams are going to be a bad team? Hell no. I mean, they have Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Allen Robinson. I mean, they have a plethora of weapons and receivers and playmakers, right? But with that being said, with the 49ers, I mean, they have some playmakers on their own. When these two teams match up, it's always going to be a physical game. But with that being said, I'm going to pick the underdogs. I'm going to pick the Rams to win this game. With that being said, man, I'm going to pick the defending Super Bowl champs. So, all right. So that was betting odds, man. That was the opening spread for this week's games. Man. I wish I would. It's pretty sad that I wish that I would have done this earlier in the day so I could at least get some people to hop on here, talk some football with me. But it is what it is, man. You get your times where you get your time where you can, right? So you know what? Let me push in one more article, because if I am doing bets, let me just squeeze in another article in there, right? So I got another one here for y'all. Boom. Hope y'all see it. All right, so this is NFL's best bets for week 4 and to make against the spread. So we're going to just jot down. We're going to see what they say. And, we'll talk about it. All right, so get straight to it. Not even going to waste nobody's time. So best bets, Buffalo Bills -3, 110 at Baltimore to win 0.5 units. I'm going to reduce the risk here, considering almost everyone is on the Bills injury report. But unfortunately for them, the Ravens aren't looking too healthy either. Two great quarterbacks match up here, but I just value the Bills a bit higher. The Ravens have been pretty one-dimensional and relying on big plays early in the season. I don't think that matches up too well against the Bills defense. Yes, I like to get some guys back on defense for Buffalo, but even still, I can't quite get to the number. If Buffalo gets good news on the injury report this week, this should move a decent bit. I'll be looking to increase this position if things start trending that way, right? Worst line to bet, Bills -3. So they say it's the worst line, but remember, I said the Bills are winning this game. Even though with all the injury reports, even with everything going on in the defense, guess what? Josh Allen is still on the team. He's still healthy, and he's still gonna play. Because they still have, they have Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. So, as far as I know, the Buffalo Bills offense will produce, and so will the Baltimore Ravens. So, I do predict this to be a very high-scoring game. Now, I do agree with Buddy to say that the Bills injury report on defense is going to be the deciding factor on whether you should bet on the Bills or Ravens or not. But even just going into this game, if you're a risk taker, I'm still going to take the Bills, man. So next game, Tennessee Titans -3.5, -115 at Indianapolis Colts. I don't know if this is an overreaction to the Colts upsetting the Chiefs last week, but they didn't exactly give a bunch of confidence from their performance. Honestly, the Chiefs gave that game away. If anything, the Colts likely gets Shaquille Leonard back for this one, but I still can't justify the numbers getting to 3.5. My model is pretty low on the Titans, so this is simply too much respect being given to the Colts, and they don't deserve it after 3 games. Try not to pay too much juice for the 3.5, as getting 3 at plus 100 or better is better than 3.5 minus 120 in my opinion. Worst line to bet, Tennessee Titans plus 3.5 minus 115 or plus 3 100. So like I said, man, it is the worst. That is the worst line to bet. But I said, I said the Titans, or I think I said the Titans. But yeah, man, I think the Titans come out with this one though. Low key. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Derrick Henry can have a really big game, to be honest. But who knows? So the next game now is the Chicago Bears versus the Giants. Chicago Bears are plus 3.5, minus 114 at New York. I apologize for this play, but yes, I'm going to be betting on a team that is okay with not completing 10 passes in an NFL game in the year 2022. The Bears aren't good, but neither are the Giants. I think the Bears are going to be able to generate pressure against the Giants' offensive line. That spells disaster for Daniel Jones. Another game where I can't justify giving the hook here, as plus 3 wouldn't be a play for me. Two bad offenses match up here, and I'm getting more than a field goal. I'll take it. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one, man. I mean, I agree with the fact that the Bears are going to be able to generate some pressure on that offensive line and with Daniel Jones. But the Giants still have a better rushing game. I believe in Saquon, man. I'm a believer in Saquon, right? So I'm gonna keep it at that, man. I'm just believing my team, man. I did it once. I lost faith once, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it again this year. So the Eagles versus the Jaguars. Eagles minus 6.5, minus 110 versus Jacksonville. The Eagles are an absolute unit right now, and I can't believe this is the line. This line went below 7. The Jaguars are getting way too much credit for beating up on injury-riddled Chargers team last week, and I'm going to try and reap the benefits here. I honestly thought we were going to enter Eagles being overrated territory, but I'm actually going to be on them this week. Anything under a touchdown is plenty of value here, and if we see -6, I'll be adding to my position. Go Birds. I mean, nothing much to say there. I already said it in the beginning. I already said the Eagles were the team to play, were the team to beat. I'm not even going to think twice about this one. So next game is the Denver Broncos and the Raiders, right? So the Raiders have a good amount of injuries mounting up for this week, and I'm willing to bet against them at this point. The status of Nate Hobbs, Trevor Morick, and Rock Ya-Sin are in doubt for while the Denver offense hasn't hit its stride yet this season. There is little reason to believe the Raiders defense can slow them down, and with their secondary depleted, on top of that advantage, I think the Broncos pass rush should have a field day against a bad Vegas offensive line. Hopefully Russ springs back into form and can get us an outright victory. Broncos for the win, right? But remember, I got the Raiders winning this one, man. So if it's a bad L for me, if it's a bad pick, hey man, here's what it is. So I'm just trying to give the Raiders a dub, man, because they already 0-3. They're already crying about their little about their little L's. So gotta keep it there, right? So the last one is Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers over 42 minus 110. The 49ers match up quite well against Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense, as they'll be able to generate pressure without blitzing. Remember, everyone, you never want to blitz Matthew Stafford or he's going to shred you. Either way, 42 is a really low number for two teams that have a history of moving the ball. The 49ers didn't look great against the Denver Broncos last week, but I'm going to chalk that up to a bad outing. Jimmy Garoppolo is plenty fine to sustain some drives, and while the loss of Trent Williams is huge, this is too low of a total for me to avoid. Right? So, with that being said, I still got the Rams to win this one. But that's it right there for me, man. So those are your best bets. Those are the bets for week 4 of the NFL. I know it's pretty late here for me. Whatever time it is for you guys, whether you're watching it in the morning, afternoon. Look, I'm just glad that you guys are watching, right? Once again, for those who are tuned in, streaming, watching, whether it's later on, whether it's during, please like and subscribe to CashSports Podcast, man. I would graciously appreciate it. It would be helping out the platform. And the more you guys donate, the more you guys tune in, like the video, support my podcast, man. The more this grows, the more and more stuff I can do, and the more opportunities follow. I know I mentioned way back when I was talking about some offers coming up soon. Please look out for that, because it is coming up really, really soon, right? Because I know you guys love some games. I know you guys don't just like watching games. Some of you guys actually like going to the games, right? So stay tuned. Keep a heads up for that. That's why I say keep watching my shorts, because I put out a lot of information that goes out there. Let me see if I have anything left that I don't think I do. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for watching CashSports Podcast. I graciously appreciate those who tuned in. I see that one viewer that just tuned in. You just tuned in as I'm just finishing. That's the funny part about it. But as soon as I'm done with the video, you guys were able to see the whole video, the spread, and all the betting lines and whatnot, right? So once again, thank you all for tuning in to CashSports Podcast, and have a wonderful day.